What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heel of the Ring podcast. I am one of the hosts of Heel of the Ring BX Sports Jedi Kev. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video I wanted to talk about was the NXT partnership, the NXT TNA crossover last night from Cincinnati, Ohio, and the way I see it, it delivered a total nonstop action from all the matches, and I am ready to talk about it. Let's go. It opens up with Stephanie Vercure taking on Carmen Prechovic with Shanti the Adonis at her corner, and that is for the NXT Women's North American title. We saw last week for Carmen Prechovic winning that number one contender match in that triple threat. And all in all, I thought this was a solid match for Carmen Prechovic, putting in the work, seeing her skill set in the ring continue to get better and better and better. I like the fact that Shanti Adonis did not play too much of a role as interference. It was a one-on-one match. You could see Petrovic doing a hell of a job on selling on her moves that Vacure nailed on her. Some memorable moments. Stephanie's just one of those wrestlers who is so smooth, real smooth in her transition, in her selling, and her execution, in her transition moves to getting to the finish. We see her get the victory. The one thing that Stephanie needs to work on is a little bit on that 619, but you cannot start dissecting on her. What she brings to the women's division is just a step above what they currently have, and there's no disrespect to the ladies that they have in NXT. They all do great work, but Stephanie's just on another level. We got to see Julia come out after the match, got to face where here's where I have a little bit of a disconnect with the night, was we're having a unification match. We're going to unify now the Women's North American title, which just was inaugurated in June. We were talking about that they needed a secondary mid-card title, especially when you have NIL wrestlers, female wrestlers, and the main of the world title picture of the main NXT women's title was kind of logjam. Roxanne Perez at a time, and so forth. You needed that mid-card title for the Lola Vices, for the Kalani, the Sol Ruka, but now you're going to combine them. Before we get our panties in our bunches and get all wild or go on a rant on a wild goose hair, we got to find out what happens at Roadblock at Madison Square Garden. If they're going to pull the trigger, if they're actually going to unify these titles. Anything could happen. It could be a herky-jerky interference where the match gets thrown out. It could be an invasion angle with the knockouts division. We don't know what could transpire. I kind of will not like to see that Women's North American title vanish or go away. We understand Evolve is kicking on. Evolve is going to be it's always going to be taking place hour prior to NXT Live when they're in the Performance Center with the WWE ID program. Triple H said there's going to be WWE ID championships there for Evolve. So I don't know. Maybe they don't feel like they have too many titles. They'll remove that women's mid-card and have that Evolve title. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm having this conversation with you guys who's going to listen to this video either by YouTube or the audio platform. Don't forget, please like, subscribe, and share. And we'd love to have more of you to come on and join us there. We know we do our weekly show with Chris, but I just wanted to do this special video here reacting to NXT last night, just to give some more wrestling content out there so we could digest or get us through before Saturday. I wanted to talk about that unification. I hope it doesn't go there because we were big proponent on our channel wanting to see these mid-card titles, but at least for NXT, they are interesting, those mid-card titles. Fallon Henley had gotten a great opportunity as being that champion regardless of the fact it was under 100 days, but she had a title. You saw her conduct herself as a champion with an elevate fatal influence. Kalani Jordan being inaugural North American Women's Champion. We got to see her with a title, conducting herself and make herself feel she belongs. And again, the title doesn't justify. It's us, the fans. You watch wrestling, and some say they listen with their ears. That's how they watch wrestling. If you connect with the fans and you connect with the audience to gravitate, you're over. You don't need a title as long as you're over with the crowd. I totally agree to a certain extent. You also want to see them conduct themselves as a face of the franchise, face of the brand, and the world champion for male, female, even if it's a mid card, is still another opportunity to brand yourself. They have that look. They have it in the UFC. I understand, or in boxing. I understand it's all different class and weights, but it could be also these mid card titles. You could kind of see them as kind of wrestling experience in the business. You're just your first run as a company representative. I'm just hear me out with that. That's why I kind of like those mid card titles, but it's up to creative to make good storylines. Just to have a title means nothing. It means like one of those regular fans that we see standing online with their own titles, trying to get in the building with their own replica title. Make it mean something. And I thought the women's North American title meant something. I hope it doesn't go away. Again, this might be a knee jerk overreaction because they announced that there. We'll see what happens, but all in all, that doesn't take away from the banger of a match that they're going to give us at Madison Square Garden on March 11th for NXT Live. That's going to be they're already packing that show where it's going to be must watch TV, and that is a not a rare but a eye-rousing situation because 30 days later, you have Stand and Deliver, which you could arguably, WrestleMania weekend is their NXT WrestleMania. So their Stand and Deliver is huge, but they're giving us this Madison Square Garden card on CW, by the way, that's going to be like, wow. So it's interesting to see. You got headline with those two of the best, arguably the best women from around the world going at it, and Vakir and Julia. We'll find out how that goes there. We saw a promo where we saw Santino Marella with Adriana Grace talk about NXT liaison, but Lola Vice wants an opportunity, wants to get in the ring. Haven't seen Lola Vice on TV for a while. It went over quite a long time, a long amount of days without Lola on television in a televised match. She pretty much bullied or poked away or egged on Adriana Grace. Adriana Grace, another wrestler who I have not seen get in the ring. We've seen her with the liaison or the back and forth on TV screen, but not in a physical match. They're going to have one later on in the night that set that up. That was a good thing to see. We'll definitely get to see a match from TNA crossover, the TNA X Division title between Moose and Lexus King. I'm going to tell you this. I had my Lexus King shirt on last night. I am a big Lexus King fan. Lexus King, I enjoyed his father's work when he was Flying Brian, God rest your soul, Flying Brian Pillman, when he came in WCW and all that good stuff, or whatever WWE run with the Heart Foundation. To see his son wrestle, it's phenomenal. Big fan of him when he was in Dark Elevation and the other company, then coming over. Seeing where he's mature, I think to me, both men put on a banger of a match. For Moose, to see Moose with the move sets that he are letting us know, when I mean us, WWE Universe, if you have never seen Moose's matches, to me, I think he wrestled one of his best matches as a wrestling professional, and he's been around for over a decade plus. For Moose, the psychology, the springboard. First of all, he set the tone with that drop kick and just knocked Lexi King off the mat. I mean, my God, that drop kick, he just got elevated with that drop kick. From his power bombs, from the finishing of the spear, from outside the ring, also making a comeback. Lexus King, also another one. The false finishes from Lexus King. Got away from Final Current. He got his finishing, the coronation, excuse me. When he was going to go for a second coronation, and Moose kicks out. I mean, this is just a back and forth match. And of course, What do you expect when you have two title holders? Because Lexus King, regardless or not, he is your Heritage Cup champion, taking on the X Division champion, two secondary or mid card titles in both respective companies. But my goodness, they had a hell of a match. The spot on the outside where Lexus King goes for a moonsault, and Moose catches him. Remember, they didn't have a lot of room from the announce table out to the outside, and it could have been a dangerous situation. But Moose, like a professional, got in there, and for two performers that don't wrestle each other or don't work even in the same company to come together and put on a hell of a match. As a wrestling fan, you were entertained. We were stoked. And even if you're a coach and watch the way that match was. And I am not a coach. I am not claiming I'm a wrestling coach. I'm a wrestling fan for over 40 plus years to watch it. I enjoyed everything about it. And very great match. If those two gentlemen get back in the ring again, I'm take my money. Take my money. I will love to see them again. And on paper, even by the physical, by stature, Moose is this big behemoth of a gladiator. And you got Lexus King. It just reminds you of Shawn, that built the Shawn Michaels. I'm not saying he's puny. I'm not saying he's small, but he doesn't have that gladiator overpowering stature. He is a professional wrestler, and to see both of them go at it to different style of contrast of physique, and they put on a hell of a match. Man, that match to me, I watched it already before I came on, from the different bumps, from all the different types of back and forth there. Alexis King in his hometown, by the way, so it wasn't easy for Moose to go into Cincinnati to take on the hometown kid. And Moose is on hostile territory, and the way they wrapped up the match was awesome, because it took that slippage of the Heritage Cup champion to get hit with a Moose-like spear to get the victory. I mean, that match, to me, bravo, great match. If you want to give it stars in your star ratings, in this case, it's 5 lifesavers for that match. That was a 5 lifesaver match. Easily there for Moose and Alexis King. I really enjoyed it. The one match that everybody was talking about. Social media was a buzz. Everyone was talking. Maybe this is where the highest segment of the CW, and I cannot wait to see the ratings come out later in the afternoon around 5-6 o'clock for NXT and the CW. I'm hoping they get to 900,000. I said yesterday on the broadcast, I hope they get 1 million views, over 1 million views for that, because the card that they advertised and they put on last night too had to draw some. There wasn't not a lot going on in the world of professional sports, NBA here and there, NHL. You had the only thing that hurt the NHL with the NHL, Islanders and Rangers. You had and at the odd game on the UBS Arena, you had TNA stars promoting the game, the Slammiversary event coming up at the UBS Arena. I believe you had Joe Henry. You had Joe Henry, had Marsha Slamovich. You had Casey Lavaro there, all there in attendance, trying to hype up for the ticket sale. I know they're going to sell out the UBS Arena, but I don't know if that's going to take a lot of eyeballs away from the CW to watch this card. The Hardy Boys taking on the North Quarter Catch Club, Miles Bourne and Travion Heights. I love the fact that I actually say it at times, and I know I get some heat from my compadres on the panel with Miles Bourne, and Big Joseph and I pretty much say almost the same thing right after one another. I say it first, and he's finishing across the board. Like, even Miles Bourne could hear the pop that the Hardys got. Oh my God, I popped there. It was great to see that. And the match between Miles Bourne and Miles Bourne continues to elevate his wrestling style. Everyone say you're not Randy, but he trained Randy Orton to get back in the ring, or he worked with him. He helped him get in the ring, get into wrestling shape, get in those bumps with Randy before when Randy came back at that War Games and Survivor Series a year and a half ago. It was Miles that was working hand in hand. That's why you see a lot of similarities from Miles and Randy. He even bulked up like Randy Orton, took on his regiment on physical, on getting his body ready. So each guy's benefit. And Trevian Heights going over to Japan and working the whole summer in Japan. You could see him working just a technical mat wrestler, a great wrestler from his level up days now where he's in the No Quarter Catch Club, taking on the nostalgic, the one of the decorative, popular, must-watch, redeemable tag team in professional wrestling in the Hardy Boys. Great to see Jeff and Matt Hardy. Or even if it's NXT, it's still under a WWE umbrella. They already got the merchandise for the Hardy Boys there. Check out my YouTube, my X page. Follow us at BXJedi76. There you're gonna find the link for you could purchase a T-shirt on the one of our guys, Terrence. He has a Fanatics account where he's a distributor from the Fanatics. So use his promo code, get those merch, help out the Heal the Ring podcast, and you get yourself a Hardy shirt, and we definitely appreciate the help on that. Jeff and Matt Hardy, again, the nostalgic. We seen the hits there. We saw the Whisper in the Wind. We seen the Twist of Fate. But the psychology match, they still bring it at that age, at that level, and the crowd loves it. The Twist of Fate Swanton combo for the win. And by the way, it was a TNA tag team title matchup. You also had the NXT tag team champions, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom, sitting again at the ramp watching their match there. All again, No Quarter Catch Club. When it's time for when their opportunities come for another title opportunity, won't be surprised if there will be the next NXT tag team champions, because they check the boxes, and reports have it we that Nathan and Nathan Frazier and Axiom possibly being called up in the summer to the WWE main roster. But for now, we all know that the Hardys and the team of Fraxium are on a collision course. We have Santino Marella come out after the match, which is great to see. Santino with his old Santino music. It even popped him. The crowd loved it. The great moments that the WWE and NXT and TNA gave us last night. If you're a purist wrestling fan, even if you're a casual, everyone knows as a casual who is the Hardy Boys. And to see that nostalgic and hear that crowd, you're like, whoa, I got to watch this. What's going on? I think last night it's going to hook fans, casuals, to want to watch more NXT. Now you can't have the Hardys every week, but I'm pretty sure when you advertise the Hardys for Roadblock by Santino Marella came out and let us know that between him and Ava, they have come to an agreement that they are going to, this two tag teams will go at it. Nathan Frazier, Axiom taking on the Hardy Boys at Madison Square Garden. Got the huge reaction, got the huge pop, and that is going to be phenomenal. Of course, and I love that he came out in his director role of authority. The crowd went going, more crossovers. Again, if you're a casual, you saw the Hardys, you go, oh, the Hardys are still wrestling. You hook. I go, and now not only that, you're gonna know that they're gonna wrestle in 2 weeks on that same CW. Also, you're gonna find out they're in TNA, and they're working with WWE. Even if you're under a rock, like the way MJF likes to say, you're going to now look a little more to find what TNA is. This is where that partnership continues to work and continue to benefit both parties, because now if you're a casual, you're going to tune back in to want to see what you saw last night, and you're probably going to go out of your way a little more to go look for the TNA programming. Now you could get and of course, one thing I would have loved the CW to promote just a little more, where you could find the TNA programming, TNA app or so forth, but that's their relationship, their working relationship. We'll find out. Maybe there's reasons they can't do it over the air on the CW. We don't know. I don't know the logistics on it, but I would have liked for people to say, you could watch the Hardy Boys this Thursday on the Impact Zone. Just a little critique, but it's just something minor in case for the casuals to want to watch. where the Hardy Boys are. You're going to say, well, WWE, why are you trying to tell people to go watch your competition? But you have a 2 year collaboration. You could collaborate back and forth, because I know on TNA Impact they talk about the WWE and NXT and so forth. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, you're not taking away from a great moment there to see those 4 men plus Santino Marella is ready, setting up for something big, and I can't wait to see there. And it's going to be, I believe it's for the TNA tag team titles. It's not for the NXT. It's not title for title. It's for one of the brand's title. Interesting to see how that goes there. We've seen some teasing from this 4 individuals. I know Chef Dan on our channel, one of our pundits, our collaborators, our partners, that comes on the watch along, called them the Botchamania 4. It's those, I call them the level up left behinds, because they were left behind when Level Up disappeared. You didn't see these performers wrestle because they used to wrestle on Level Up to get prepared. Level Up went away, so they're disgruntled. They're looking to make a statement that they are part of the roster. To me, that's the way I perceive that, because they took away Level Up, and they're irate. They're taking it on so you see them causing havoc. They tweeted pictures that they're outside of the arena after the match. Later on in the evening, you saw them attacking backstage moments, and so forth. So they're making a presence felt week after week. We haven't had a mission statement to get them inside the ring or with a microphone to find out why they have so much anger and the states that they want to take out the NXT roster. Hopefully that's a storyline that builds later down on the road. We'll find out where they go with that creative. But before we get to the next match, you had Jordynne Grace come out. Jordynne Grace came out to cut a promo. She easily comes out to cut out a promo, interrupted by Roxanne Perez. To me, it looks like it might be Roxanne Perez's swan song, say goodbye. We know she's in the Elimination Chamber this coming Saturday at the PLE. We also invite you to come to check us out. We have the Playback app. It's called Playback TV, Heel of the Ring podcast. At the Playback, we actually show the wrestling event. We ask you to come watch along, even if you have at home and you're watching at home. But here's the reason why we do the watch along. We want you to watch to see the wrestling together and comment and come together as a wrestling community, and speak and conversate and see what you see at the wrestling. Did you like the finish? Did you like, we want that instant reaction from the fans, from us fans, summer fan, to see what at that moment, your raw reaction, when it happens, when certain person goes over, when someone interferes or a surprise. I want to watch it together as a wrestling community. That's why we do the watch alongs. That's why we ask you to join us on the Playback. We used to do it here on YouTube, but I rather watch. We're in a platform that allows us to show you, and we all see it together, synchronized. Where when I used to do the watch alongs, 3 or 4 of us, someone was always a couple of seconds ahead, and we would lose the spoil. And especially, I gave case in point to CM Punk. Punk came out. We were waiting. One person saw it. Oh, it's CM Punk. I'm like, what? And or myself, I've done it myself, that I was ahead, and I said this is this, and it was spoiled. So it again is no fault. They're not doing it on purpose. It's the reaction. That's the raw reaction of a fan watching it. So we do the Playback. We see it at the same time, synchronized. We watch it, and we get the reaction, oohs and ahs. If you're able to come on the panel, and we have a moment of reaction, we clip it and we go viral. We put it on YouTube X, and we go viral as a group. We don't have to copy and paste and force feed it like other people, but they do their thing where you see they put the wrestling and then they cut the clip and then they force feed their reaction. No, you get to see it as we see it coming through our eyes and our raw reaction. That's why we have the Playback. We ask you to join us on the Playback. We have that program, that opportunity there on Rumba as well, on Twitch. So we're all living all different places. We ask you to join us on those platforms. So we have Jordynne Grace, Roxanne Perez, back to Roxanne. A lot of back and forth truth. Jordynne telling Jordynne she didn't. Oh, that title that you didn't beat me, because Jordynne says, "Where's that title? This is not your division. You're not the champion." Well, the title that you couldn't beat me back in June. I love the little realism, the jabs, the back and forth. It looks like we're getting Roxanne, Jordan Grace. That's probably going to be a final swan song for Roxanne Perez before she heads to the main roster. It could happen at Roadblock, and that could be her final, and then she'll have a WrestleMania match with Bailey, or Stand and Deliver could be her final match with Jordan Grace before she heads to the main roster. There's been a lot of call-ups or rumors of call up. Again, the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, could be one of those names that have been rumored and they've got some creative plans for them going forward. Here's my take. When you're going to bring in NXT wrestlers to the main roster, have something creative for them, not just for 3 months, a program where they're going to go and you could see where it goes, regardless of the fact at the moment if the fan base are sitting on their hands for the first few months. Still truck through it. Don't pivot. Truck through it. Don't pivot, because if you're calling them up to the main roster, is because you see a lot of talent. You see that they could draw money. You could see that they're workers. Case in point, I'm glad we're going to see the American Dream with the American Made. I said Dream. The American Made with the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus Creed. They're going to get a tag team title opportunity on Monday Night Raw. When they first came up, they were booked really solid. Well, they took that one loss. They kind of cooled them off. I felt like they kind of went away with the crowd not cheering for them. And Busted Open was one of those that was saying they get no reaction, but once they get in the ring, people want to clap and cheer for them. Well, this is where us as fan base, we have to give them some type of greeting. And listen, I understand. I'm a big proponent. Your introduction music also is a big deal to get people going. If you got a beat, a sound that you come out and people feel it, you're gonna get some of the people to start cheering and get excited to hear your music. If you got bad intro music, it also hurts you. If you got a corny intro music, that's why I think Pretty Deadly gets hurt. Pretty Deadly's a hell of a storytelling tag team wrestlers who they could do anything to cheat to win, or the way they win matches. If you watch their NXT UK run and WWE NXT run, the way they won their tag team titles and their story to keep them, that's story episodic tag team. They're like, damn, you root for them to their demise, but they keep sneaking out the back door. But when they come out with that introduction, it kind of like, oh, who are these guys? It's like, I got to go get a drink. I got to change the channel. Let me check the score. It's the intro. The intro makes a big deal on a wrestler because that's the first impression you're going to get of a professional wrestler is his intro music. When you hear the glass shatter, it captures your attention. When you hear, do you smell? You stop. It captivates you. Even if you're doing something, if you're sticking away, looking away, when you hear that first few seconds of the intro, it just stops you in your tracks. Pretty Deadly, and case in point with all the different intros, that's why it's so important with that going forward. And I hope that they change some of those intros for some of those professional wrestlers that we just mentioned about there. So we get back here to NXT. We get the match here with Lola Vice and Adriana Grace. Great to see both ladies. It was a hard-hitting match, especially Adriana Grace throwing the hands. She threw those hands. It even got her on her forehead. We saw a knot on Lola Vice. Lola Vice got very angry, back and forth. These ladies had matches before. I seen a little more crisper, more cleaner matches between Grace and Lola Vice. It was a good match for where it was at the spot where I don't know where it goes if they're going. It didn't do anything to a storyline. It just got Adriana in the ring. Adriana defended herself well. Lola got the victory, but I don't know what it did here for storyline wise. I hate to say it. Was it a filler match? It could have been a bit of a filler match, but again, we can't complain because we had a whole movement about women deserve better. It's good to see both of them get ring time. We were complaining, myself included, we didn't see Lola Vice get a TV match in quite some time. We didn't see Adriana Grace have a TV match for a long time. We can't talk from both sides of our mouths, ladies and gentlemen. They got television time. They got TV time. Only diff thing is, I wish there was a little bit of a storyline going forward. Someone interferes, someone looking at Lola, stepping up to her, or whatever the case is. But you know what? They got TV time, they got wrestling time. We got to see the women. We will take that as a victory moving forward. Hopefully, we again, NXT is not the issue where they're booking the women. They just probably book a little bit of the same redundant women. That's just my opinion, but it's okay. It was a good match. It was a good moment. We saw a backstage backstage promo with Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, clearing out the room, making sure that everything is safe for our women's United States champion. It was a little bit backstage with Saria and Sol Ruka. Looks like we're having a tag team match this Tuesday at the Performance Center, where it's going to be Piper Niven, Chelsea Green taking on Saria, Sol Ruka. Remember, this Friday, there on SmackDown, we're also going to be doing the playback where you can watch SmackDown with us. We do everything that's wrestling. We do everything on the playback. Heal the Ring. Please join us. Please subscribe. The description will be in the video where you can find us. The membership is totally free to join. But yeah, it's just a sub. You sub or member. It's called join. Become a member. It's totally free. You get the notifications whenever we do the Heal the Ring. Also, we do the MMA fights there. So you can watch MMA, not just hear it, you could see it with us there on the Heal the Ring podcast. So we have a tag team set up there for Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. It was a good backstage. We'll find out where that goes, where that transpires, where that gets going. We'll find out. Before going out to the ring, Ricky Saints, Javon Evans is your main event against Wes Lee and Ethan Page. You see a kind of a good friendship there with Ethan and Wes, two heels, which was interesting. But we didn't see it was a rip in some friendship between Trick Williams and none other than Javon Evans. Trick was very endearing and nice to Javon. Trick was a little ornery, a little upset. Eddie Thorpe has got into his head, which he cut a promo earlier on NXT Live, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of bloodbath, maybe a first blood match between Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe. I wouldn't mind seeing that, or last man standing between those two in leading up. But Trick Williams teeting a little bit on a heel or getting an edge, wasn't feeling Javon and almost got into a back and forth fight with Javon, which some people may lead that Trick Williams is leading this new group of misfits, the Botchamania Fours. I doubt it. I think Trick Williams new found is going to be going to the main roster after he's done with this Eddie Thorpe. I think Eddie Thorpe is trying to get that, or the WWE creative is trying to get that main aggression out of Trick Williams. That Trick Williams is a megastar. He goes to the main roster. There is going to be no problem with him. Once you hear those trumpets, and you're going to hear 17,000. Hundreds is the other company. 17,000, 15,000 people whipping just all together in unison. Whoop that Trick on Mondays or Friday nights whenever they come out, or on those PLEs. That's not going to be the problem of getting him over, but you still need that character development from Trick Williams on that edgy side when he has and I'm pretty sure, you heard it on Busted Open plenty of time. Bubba Ray says you need that heel breathing down your neck, Trick. And I think Eddie Thorpe has done a great job breathing down Trick Williams' neck to get that edge, that chip, that edge, that taking him to that place where a baby face relentlessly don't go. And he has to go to overcome this obstacle that's Eddie Thorpe or any adversary. And kudos to Eddie Thorpe bringing that out of Trick Williams. I think that match there, it got you want to see it more. Tell me if you're a major Trick fan. I asked this question: don't you want to see Trick really beat the living daylights out of Eddie Thorpe? I mean, making him sip out of a straw for weeks. That's the emotional investment that they're looking for. If you say yes to that, they have done their job. If you said I need to see more, well, there's still more build up to this rivalry that hopefully throughout the weeks it's going to continue to build, where it's going to gravitate you and grab you in. For me, they've done it. Eddie Thorpe has done it. Where I need you to get your doors blown in by Trick. I need Trick to literally whip you like a trick. Seriously, and they're doing a great job. Eddie Thorpe, phenomenal work. They're taking that heel persona and just elevating it. And Trick getting that edge, that chip. Now it has to translate. Now you guys in the ring. I would love to see a first blood match, or last man standing. Either one of those. I don't need a cage because Eddie Thorpe hasn't been chicken. He hasn't been doing any chicken shit stuff, running or moving. They're not a cage usually is to keep your adversary to heal from eluding you and running away or keeping others from interfering. I don't. That's why I don't want to see kind of a cage match. I kind of want to see. I don't want to see a strap or a bull match. I just want to see a last man standing between those two or a bloodbath. First blood. Whoever draws blood. Just I would definitely. I know they shine away because it's NXT, all that good stuff. But if they do it, I'm stand and deliver. That's what I need to see. I need to see someone who's going to get bloodied up and get knocked out, and that's a grudge match. That's the type of match I kind of want to see between Trick and Eddie Thorpe. We get the main event, of course. Ethan Page, Wesley in the ring. Javon Evans always gets a huge pop. We get the debut of Ricky Saints. His entrance, phenomenal. And some would say, oh, they copy and paste a little what AEW did on his entrance. Listen, Jeff and Matt Hardy used their entrance. Edge uses his theme song, Alter Bridge, at there. There's nothing wrong. It's just a wrestling business. The Heat and Ricky decided to change from Starks to Saints. That's on him. He wants to different rebranding. Whatever the case is, he is still the same wrestler. He has not grown an inch taller or shrunk an inch taller. Maybe he might have put some more muscles or leaned up. Whatever the case is, it's still the same. It's still Ricky out there. The entrance, phenomenal. The tweaking of the introduction of the song still was a good intro. I like the intro there. But here's the thing: the match was when the bell rang. Very good, solid match, especially for Saints who has not wrestled with Wesley. I kind of want to see a one-on-one next, which they've been hinting towards. It's going to be Saints versus Lee, and I can't wait to see when that go one-on-one because Javon is all hell bent. That's another one with Javon and Ethan Page, where Ethan Page has taken Javon, the baby face, always smiling. That boy is bouncy, taking him to that level quicker to bring out that heel, or not that heel, but that edge, that edgy side of Javon. Page has done that. Page couldn't do that to Trick Williams when they had their matches for the NXT title. Kind of fell short, where I don't think Trick didn't go there like Eddie Thorpe has done. But Ethan Page, kudos for pairing well with the young Javon Evans, and that rivalry between those two is very significant in NXT, in my opinion. That could go down as one of the hot rivals in NXT history. The way they're going back and forth, the jaw breaking, for Javon. Now he wears a mouthpiece. Javon wants his comeuppance, wants to get his hands on Ethan Page so much that they went into the crowd and left one-on-one between Ricky Saints and Wesley. You saw the Rochambeau for the victory, but then that closing image of Ricky Saints all alone in the middle of the ring, and the crowd chanting, "Tony, you fumbled this." I mean, wow. And then I advise you to go to X and watch that interview or that backstage promo on NXT television to Ricky Saints. Heartfelt, emotional, real, great job. Ricky Saints, you can see he's appreciative of his opportunity in NXT, getting on television, just wrestling, just performing in front of a crowd. He was so enthusiastic, enamored, happy to be wrestling, appreciative. And that's what you want when anyone, it doesn't matter if they're leaving WWE to All Elite to WWE or TNA, whatever the case is. You want that performer to relish and respect the venue, the company, the promotion that they left and they come to, and that showed. And that's how you could get behind a wrestler, and that's how they're going to get over. And Ricky Starks continue to get over because he appreciate being there and performing for us, the fans. Again, Tommy Dreamer likes to say this, and I like to, I listen to them. I critique them at times and so forth. I listen to them. I learn from them as well. But it's true. The real winners was us, the fans, because we got to see a talented performer in the middle of the square circle in another company, regardless of the fact. But he entertained us. We want to see more. Other man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's what Ricky Starks felt, a treasure for the WWE. He may not have been used in WWE, and I'm not calling you trash, Ricky Starks. No, no, Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks. I'm not calling you that. We were very talented, uber, but creative action made you feel like you weren't necessary needed in that company. But in this company, you're more than welcome. They look like they got something for you where they're going to utilize you and take you to another level of excellence. So I that's what I emphasize by that other man, that statement. And again, it's not calling you that. Is that the way they booked you made it feel that way. So I'm glad to see that he is treated like a star, feels like a star, and it's just wrestling in-ring debut on one night. So awesome job there, and I'm looking forward for that roadblock. I hope you guys are as well. Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, NXT there. You know the history that building has, that history that it creates, the memories, the moments, and NXT is going to have that there, with TNA wrestling. That's great because they're both going to go do a dual show there. Anything could happen in the world of professional wrestling. I love it. I can't wait. And I can't wait to give my, stay tuned for video for my Elimination Chamber. I'm not going to do it in this one. I'm going to do a separate one. My theories on the soul seller, or who's going to sell out for his soul. I make a compelling argument. If you watch me on the playback, you know where I'm going, what I'm going to say. But for those that have not listened to me on the playback, listen to me on Spotify at times or anywhere you see this video, I have said my case for each individual in the Elimination Chamber if they were the ones to be selling their soul to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And what does that implication mean? We will find out more for this Saturday on Elimination Chamber. And don't forget to follow us on X at BXJedi76. There you're going to find the other handle of all the Heal the Ring all the Heal the Ring members, the crew from every one of us. You can find our handles. Please follow us. Follow us, interact, talk, say hello. Quick, we don't bite hard. Although I don't got, my teeth are a little loose, so I won't bite you too hard. I definitely come say hi, write it out. We definitely would love to have that interaction. Everybody listens to us. We're always looking for female content creators or pundits, contributor on our platform. We got Canary, who is out with an injury. We got Gemma working on her PhD, and of course we could always use we could always hear the female voice. We always trying to be champion of the female wrestling, but we want to hear the female voice. We want to hear their perspective, because sometimes we're not females. We don't see them through their lenses and their eyes. We want to hear from you. I definitely would love to bring on a weekly with me and Chris, a female, to have that conversation and see what their thought throughout the week of their wrestling show. So we put that out there. Follow us, hit me up on DMs or email me, get back to you, and we'll love you to come aboard on our program as well. One other note here, coming soon, there's an exclusive trailer coming out on the film festival coming out in Los Angeles in the spring, a film called Blue Evenings. Blue Evenings. If you want that, check the trailer there on my X. You got none other than Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross comes out in this movie. In this film, it looks great. It looks like he's helping a struggling drug addict getting his life sober, clean, but he offers him a job, manual labor. The junkie looks like he's trying to collect $2,000 to buy this rare Rembrandt painting that he saw in a pawn shop, because he was pawning things so he could get money for his fix. But his daughter, he has a daughter, loves this painter, this Rembrandt painter, and marvels over it. And she goes, "Oh man, if I were to get one." And he happens to stumble one in a Los Angeles pawn shop. But the man has to get clean and sober to make those $2,000. The sacrifice that man will do to get his daughter that Rembrandt, to make the money to probably amends his drug addiction and failures in his daughter's life. But Karrion Kross is in it. I urge you to watch that. I saw the trailer and I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. It intrigued me. It talked to me. It was an emotional because regardless of the fact, I think we lived, at least from my experience, we all lived where, at least for me, and it's a little bit peeking behind the current. I lived through a parent that fell in drug addiction and seeing them clean themselves and working hard and staying clean and but the damage that it caused in relationships and in minds and family and all that, the rips. And to see that movie, it talked to me, it captivated me, so I kind of can't wait to see that going forward. Definitely more like you, definitely Karrion Kross, phenomenal. I can't wait. He has a minor, I believe he has just a part or a role as the boss, as the guy that's going to help him get sober and clean. So I can't wait to see that. And in my final note there, I want to give this that's happening in real life to Diamond Dallas Page with his DDP yoga, helping Lex Luger getting up from his walking from his wheelchair, standing on his own accord. I think that man is going to help Lex Luger to walk. I wouldn't be surprised the day that he gets announced in the Hall of Fame, and when he goes to the Hall of Fame to talk in the podium, I think he's going to surprise us walking to the podium. And what a pleasure. Lex Luger always putting out a positive message each and every morning on X. Always putting a great verse of the Bible, and where his heart and his love is. And for Lex Luger, all things are possible if you believe in the blood. So Lex, inspiration that you could do all things in Christ that strengthens me. Let's go. This is the Heal the Ring podcast. We appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe.